1, 2, 3, 4.
Live from Chicago, Illinois, home of the quietest lakefront in America, it's the Pandemic Talk Show. Featuring TJ Shanoff and the Stay at Home Orchestra. Today's guests, Anna Soltys, Monica Eng, Wayne White, Sophie Sputnik from Waltzer, and now your host, the lifeguard at Oak Street Beach, Justin Kaufman.
All right, yes, I'll take that any day. I would be a great lifeguard at Oak Street Beach right now. When no one's allowed on the lakefront and the whole thing, I would be great. If there were actually people in the water I was responsible for, I'd be terrible at it. But it's just, because, I'd just be working on my tan the whole time.
He can't swim.
Hey, welcome to the Pandemic Talk Show. I'm Justin Kaufman. We're getting started here. We got a great show lined up today. It's pretty amazing. The artists, musicians, and just overall talent that we have on the program. Wayne White's going to join us in just a minute. Legendary music video artist and artist who's in galleries on both coasts. Tremendous talent. And I'm so excited to talk to him. He's doing the new Waltzer video that will be premiered on the Hideout at their Twitch coming up on Thursday. So we'll talk with Wayne White, as well as get a live performance from Sophie Sputnik from Waltzer. And also Anna Soltys will be with us in just a second here, and Monica Eng, one of the best reporters in Chicago as well. TJ Shanoff, how are you, buddy?
Hey, how about this one? Na, 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 na. Come on, everybody. Na, 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 na. COVID. I can't do the whole 7-minute Hey Jude parody about COVID.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, I will. COVID. You've got it. Next time.
Next time. Goldie, how are you, man? How was Memorial Day weekend?
Memorial Day was fine. It wasn't like the Memorial Days of old, but I made burgers. We went for a walk, avoiding human contact, and then we had a 4-hour Zoom with friends in the evening.
Oh, yeah.
Just a typical Memorial.
Did you shoot your gun off, or is that 4th of July? When did they shoot the guns off?
It's 4th of July.
4th of July.
Memorial Day is a little more somber.
A little somber, right? It's not a happy day. All right. Well, I'd say do a question of the day, but no, you know what? We're not sure that we're even connected on the Facebook, so who cares, right?
But we're connected as people.
I was going to ask people, what did you do on your Memorial Day? But let's just assume everybody stayed home.
Let's just assume. Well, let's get right to it. Will, you ready for your first voyage? Let's get our first guest on the line. Anna Soltys and her band, The Familiar, have been doing they're doing a great band in Chicago for a long time. Anna is also an artist in Chicago, and she is joining us now on the Pandemic Talk Show. Anna Soltys, welcome to the program. Woo! Oh, there she is. Yeah.
Guys, I did it.
We did it.
Thank you.
It's great.
Yeah.
How are you? And thanks for joining the program. Where are you sheltering in place? Are you still sheltering in place? Where are you at right now?
I am, man. I'm sheltering in place. I'm learning how to adjust. This is a new life now, I'm kind of like just getting it through my thick skull that nothing will ever be the same. I know that's a little depressing, but it's true. And so I'm at home with my son. And we're doing the best we can. And doing this is sort of the highlight of, since March 10th?
I'm sorry to hear that, Anna.
That's high praise. Yeah, we'll take that, right? Anna, for you as an artist, both a visual artist and a musician, when you think about that and you wrestle with the idea that life is not going to be the way it, you thought it was going to be, or it's going to change as we look for a new normal, does that change the way you think about your art or approach your art in that form?
Well, sure. I'm learning. I'm learning what that means. I don't really understand fully, but I'm a visual artist, so I do public art installations, which I think are I'm really excited to get back out there, and I think public art's gonna really be very important right now. It always has been, but now, for the little time you spend outside, if you can see something that'll inspire you a little bit or kind of bring a little color to this sometimes drab city, that that feels good. As far as music, like in this transition, it feels like an incubation time, like just learning. We were moving so fast for so long, doing so many things, just trying to like keep up, and now we have a moment to breathe. So while it's like devastating and it's so heavy, this ability to kind of chill for a second opens up some other weird doors, right? And the fact that like I'm fortunate enough to be able to chill a little bit is its own thing, you know, but I'd like to do the most I can with it, and yeah, try to figure out what this means. And obviously as artists, this also means the same thing to other people. So communication, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you told us that you're working on something new and you got a new workout. In that process of creating new right now, is it easier to work in this form from home and record and actually produce an album as opposed to going into a studio and working with other people, or is it harder now?
Well, it's funny because for me, like things haven't changed that much. I have a 4.5-year-old, you know what I mean? So when I had him, my life became sort of isolation in a lot of ways, just learning how to be a mom, right? Like, what is that? And so the songwriting process with my band, with Anna Soltys and the Familiar, that's something I do solo and then I bring to the band anyways. So that kind of, you know, works that way. And then with the synth pop band that I'm in, the way that it works is the keyboard player, Mickey Kellerman, he writes these beats and then he sends them to me and then I do the writing solo anyways. And then right now, you know, I'll go into the studio. I've gone into the studio once to Rax Tracks to record vocals, which felt like so weird, you know? I like saw my producer and I was like, do we hug? Like what? Yeah, you know, it was very bizarre. But it felt really good. And so like, you know, we're just trying to make work. And what else can we do?
Well, I encourage everybody to go to annasoltysmusic.com and also Soltys Art, which is where the mosaics are at. Some great stuff that you've done in the past in Oak Park and other places. Just beautiful work. You're gonna play something for us here, and then we can move. Monica Eng is up next. But what do we have from you, Anna, today?
Okay, well, I'm gonna play something off my last record. I've got this record that you can check out online. It's just called Anna Soltys and the Familiar. Self-titled. It took a long time to release it, so you know, feels good. So this is called Mache. Let me know if it sounds weird. I guess you won't. It'll be fine.
Zoom, who cares?
I still dream in color when you're out. Bathe in the swirls of your melodic sound. I've sat in pools of golden light, eyes wide open, as clear as night. Chewing on the roses to clean the air tonight. You've watched me struggle on my own breath. Watch me struggle as I help out the rest. Held my head underwater for way too long. Pulled the teeth from my head just to show me you're strong. Chewing on the roses to clean the air tonight. Chewing on the roses to clean the air tonight. I smell all the seasons you've been around. Held your hand as we travel through sound. Let's follow the stars to a resting place. Take a breath and forget Et encore, moi je rêve à les roses pour nettoyer l'air. Et j'espère que peut-être ça va faire quelque chose. Et encore, moi je rêve à cette rose pour nettoyer l'air. Et j'espère que peut-être ça va faire quelque chose. Marcher à les roses pour nettoyer l'air ce soir. Marcher à les roses pour nettoyer l'air ce soir.
Wow.
Yeah, give it up. Anna Soltys, that was wonderful. And two different languages. You'll take it every time. AnnaSoltysMusic.com. You can also check out her art at soltysart.com. I can't thank you enough for coming on today. We appreciate it. What a great performance. Great stuff. Anna, thank you so much.
Thanks, Anna.
Thank you, Emma.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, you can make her in our waiting room, and then we can move on with the shows. Wow. Good stuff. She's amazing. What an amazing performance. That's the way to start this off, huh?
And she's still, there we go.
Yeah.
All right, well, live, we're live today, but we're also not live. When you're watching this, it might be live, it might be a recording, but just know we didn't edit it. It's all live.
The way I see it is,
on,
there's
Justin.
like office managers, do Zooms all the time, and it's worse tech than us, so.
Well, I like to think we're paying tribute to late 70s NBA Finals games where the show is live, but it won't be broadcast till after everybody's asleep.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. All right, let's bring in Monica Eng. Monica Eng is she's a reporter over at WBEZ, and she's been there for a few years. And I think personally that Monica has been the best, I would say reporter, anything that has been on COVID-19. She's doing everything.
Dude, haven't you heard of Brit Hume?
Besides Brit, Monica, so she is. Ladies and gentlemen, Monica Eng. Monica, how are you?
Hey!
Hey guys,
I like those headphones. Does BEZ give you those headphones?
I got these at Five and Below. They were $5, and they're both earmuffs and headphones.
Why are you not centered? What are you trying to show off? What's on your?
No, because it's so bright. Sorry, I'm sitting next to a window, so yeah, I'm trying to show off.
This is how whenever you have a work meeting or whatever, is that what you do? You hide your face all the way over here?
Yeah, it's just, sorry guys, it's so bright. I don't want you to see me.
I was just singing your praises because I think your work has been phenomenal when it comes to all the things that Chicago is dealing with when it comes to this pandemic. It is interesting because we talked early on just about, I think we were talking about mask production, and your stuff has evolved to, which I think the most interesting thing that no one's really talking about is what social distancing means to everybody. If you looked at Memorial Day weekend, my neighbors and on either side had different ideas of what safe social distancing were. You talked about a little bit in your piece about, what do we really take away from these stats? And that seems to be a big issue, the fact that we're not really on the same page about where our comfort zones are when it comes to what is social distancing.
Yeah, and frankly, I don't want to say that I did a bad job, because if people read my damn stories, they'd know. But, when you leave the house, when you walk out that door, that mask is supposed to be on. And yet probably all of us have seen people, maybe only 15% of whom had their masks on. And, I've seen a lot of people, and I give them the stink eye, because I'm like, you're not living with those people. All 10 of those people, really? They're all your quarantine mates? You're not supposed to be so close to them. So
it's amazing to me. I was telling Scott before I live in the West Loop, and there's a park about 2 blocks away, and they put a bunch of photos online last night that the garbage was so overrun from people doing picnics and whatever. I mean, more than you ever would see in any other summer. And the fact was that they were overrun. They just dumped their trash at the foot of the garbage. At this point, they're just like, civilization out the window. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm dumping my trash. It really has gone from, we don't really know how to act, regardless of pandemic.
that's what Louisa is saying. There are no rules now. People aren't following any rules, Monica. I mean, that's why you see the spike in traffic fatalities when actual traffic is way down. And it's terrible.
Yeah. For you, I mean, what do you look for when you want to tell a story, when you want to talk about COVID, and it's just kind of talked about nonstop, and people talk about this fatigue? As a reporter, what are you looking for? What is a story to you that you think people want to hear about?
Well, I think people can't get enough of practical advice. You know, I come from, you know, the Tribune before I came to BAZ. A very smart guy hired me there. And I think service journalism is so important now because I think there's a lot of conflicting information. People want simple ideas and simple doable actions to keep them and their families safer. And I hope that they would understand that it's not just about protecting them and their family, but this is all about moving us as a society to a healthier place and getting our damn economy back on track. For every bozo not wearing a mask out there, that's the one slowing down the opening of the restaurants and the other businesses. But they're just like, oh, I'm not sick. Well, do you know what's driving the new cases? Asymptomatic carriers. I don't know how much I can say that. The people who feel freaking fine are the ones who are spreading it. So don't tell me, Donald Trump, that you feel fine so you don't have to wear a mask.
Right.
Yes.
So,
See, you got TJ's. Yeah, everyone loves that. This is turned into it. Yeah, this is a beat poetry event. It's just how Goldie's snapping his fingers.
Well, I know I clap next to the mic.
Yeah, right. That's true. All right, Monica, you cover restaurants as well. You've seen the Illinois Restaurant Association really push at Governor Pritzker to change the way he had restaurants set up and open up outdoor, and that's going to be coming up soon. But you've also seen the city of Chicago and the mayor here, but also the some restaurants. I saw Baker Miller in Lincoln Square is like, we're not going to do it. We don't feel safe. We feel like this is just a lobbying effort. So where is there? The restaurants want to get back to work and they want to get going, but they also don't want to do it at the expense of safety for their employees and for their customers. So what's the go-between here?
well, it's an enormously interesting and important question. I have been so surprised by the restaurateurs I've talked to that said, like David Baker Miller, you know what? At 25%, 50%, I'm not going to open because A, I can't make my money back, and B, I don't want to put my staff in danger, and I don't know who's coming back. A lot of them complained about takeout initially, you know, like, oh my God, how am I going to make any money on takeout? And now they're kind of like, whoa, I had the best Mother's Day ever with takeout. I kind of like this takeout thing, and I'm not sure if my employees really want to be around a bunch of randos right now, and we kind of want to see how it's playing out in the other states. We want to see how it's playing out in other restaurants. What do we do if some dude starts lunging, or woman, at our other customers or coughing in the dining room? All of these are unknowns. Like, how do you deal with those situations? And who's going to be the lucky person who has to deal with it?
I think it could be just like TGIF or Fridays or any of those places when there's a birthday song and they do the birthday song. If you cough in the restaurant, the Raiders come out and they go, you have to leave right now. You have to leave right now.
And they've got like a stick, or they've got a net with a long pole. Like, you are leaving. We're not going to touch you.
If you sneeze or cough on a stranger, it should be capital punishment.
Yeah,
automatic.
Right.
And like
spitting.
Intentionally spitting, coughing, or sneezing on somebody should be
such a weird thing. Weird
instant life ban.
One thing you're working on, and you're very angelic right now, Monica, by the way.
I know, I'm so sorry. The sun just came in. I don't know what to do.
It's hilarious. It's such a radio person. You're working on farmers market stories. This is a big deal because obviously this is the time, and this could be a way that farmers markets could supplement what's happening with grocery stores and other places. But how do they get around safe social distancing to make sure that farms can get their stuff right to you?
Well, the very interesting thing is Chicago farmers markets still aren't open. You can jam into a Walmart or, you know, name your Jewel or Osco, but the city still has not allowed farmers markets to open in the city. Evanston, however, opened a few weeks ago. Oak Park is opening up this weekend. So outside the city, you can go to farmers markets. And so I'm doing a story saying, what are they going to look like? Logan Square said they were going to open at the beginning, at the middle of this month. And then they said, nope, we're not going to. Green City Market said they were going to open up June 2nd. And then they're like, no, we still have to wait for the city. They are getting really frustrated at the city that I think feels like it has to come up with some sort of comprehensive plan on this. But I think they're all going to look like Evanston, which is, you don't walk in if you don't wear a mask. Only a limited amount of people can be in the market at any one time. You don't touch produce ever again. You point at it, and the guy like puts it in the bag.
That's my thing. Touching produce. Touch it all. I love touching it all.
Yeah. The thing is, you could do that at Jewel till the cows come home, but here, do not touch the produce. Frankly, the farmers are a little freaked out about coming from counties where they're like maybe a couple dozen cases to basically COVID central. So they don't want people getting near them. There are yellow ropes to stop you from getting too near the tables. And if they accept cash, then it's only one guy with gloves and a mask on who will take your cash.
Often that person doesn't even work there.
You just give me cash and then run away with your chard and your spinach.
All right, Monica Eng, great reporter. Continue great work. I mean, it's awesome to read you and read what your colleagues are doing at WBEZ. Monica, thanks for joining us on Pandemic Talk Show. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
I really
Monica.
enjoyed the music.
You're great. We love you, Monica. Hey,
I love that she's got the light and like such a radio professional that has no concept of how to light her Zoom meeting.
I wonder
a public radio Zoom meeting where they're all like 40 different public radio reporters, all with their lighting, and they're going to be like this, like all that.
I was going to say farmers markets are closed, but you know what's open? Farmersonly.com. That's my kind of fetish. When my wife goes to bed, I'm trolling farm chicks. Can you say that now? Am I going to get canceled for using the phrase farm chicks?
I think you're canceled.
How about this? No, I'm kidding. It's a bit.
There's a virtual farmers market at Daisy's restaurant in Logan Square on Sundays at 2523 North Milwaukee. And food is of the utmost importance to live. You cannot live without food. I think water's number one, food is number two. Speaking of which, Off Their Plate is a grassroots nonprofit that partners with impacted chefs and restaurant owners to provide meals to healthcare workers on the front lines of our fight against COVID-19 and provide economic relief to the restaurant workers affected most acutely by the pandemic. They're in cities across the nation. They have delivered and served thousands of meals. They are right here in Chicago. And anyone interested in more information can go to offtheirplate.com. That's offtheirplate.com.
Scott, I've known you for 42 years, 43 years. You said water is number one, food is number two.
Yes.
I just had to call you out on that was intentional.
There are no mistakes. But
I will improv.
say, you need water to live. You could live on water, but if you don't have food, what's the point?
Especially Chicago tap water, which I have here, as you can see. That tap water has got all sorts of the nutrients needed.
Plus chromium-6 to keep you glowing.
Chromium-6 and pharmaceuticals, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to our final guests. I'm so excited about this. The band Waltzer, which is an up-and-coming band in Chicago, and they're great, and their new stuff is produced by Rookie, the guys we had on not too long ago. But the band Waltzer is playing at the Hideout coming up on Thursday. It's like a variety show, but they're premiering their brand new video. And in that video, art is provided by Wayne White and Lulu White, his daughter. But to think about Wayne White, and I'm just amazed. I can't wait to have everybody join this Zoom because Wayne White is a legend. Wayne White, not only one of the best artists, contemporary artists of our time, but he did the Peter Gabriel video big time. He did Tonight, Smashing Pumpkins, we know here in Chicago. He's done so many different things, his artwork in galleries, and he did the artwork for the new Waltzer video, which is being premiered on Thursday. So I want to bring in Wayne White, I think Lulu White's with us as well, and Sophie Sputnik, all to the Pandemic Talk Show. So let's get them in here, and let's go ahead and have a smorgasbord of guests. How about that, Will? All right. I think that's good. That's Wayne. There's Sophie. Got these guys unmuted, Will. There we go. There's Wayne. I think Wayne's still muted, so let's just make. Hi, Sophie. Thanks for being here.
Hi. Hey, guys.
Hey, Sophie.
Hello.
And I think Lulu's coming in too. I think, Will, you have to unmute Wayne and Lulu, right?
Hello.
All right, there's Wayne. All right.
We got Wayne.
All right, and there's Lily. All right, Lulu, good to see you.
Hi.
All right, look at this. This is amazing. Great to have you all.
Look at Lulu.
Well, let's start
Yeah.
let's start with Sophie. Sophie, Waltzer, as I mentioned, I mean, you guys have been around for a couple years now, and you got this big show at the Hideout. How did you guys get together with Wayne and Lulu to come up with the art for this video that's coming out on Thursday?
Yeah, well, it was like super cool and random, but Dan Mistich is my manager, and I think he just messaged Wayne like randomly on Instagram, which I think is a thing that never works out when you want stuff to happen. But Wayne responded, and then we just kind of kept moving forward in the conversation, and that's basically how we ended up here.
Wayne, I'll ask you the same question. I mean, to get a message that's just in the, in your Instagram feed, your DMs about wanting to work on a video, what attracted you to Waltzer and wanting to do this?
First of all, I want to send out a big notice to every half-baked kook in the world. Just get me on Instagram and I'm ready to go.
I know. Oops.
I liked the music. I liked Dan. There's a certain personality that can convince me. I did like the music. I'm into the do-it-yourself at home thing like everybody else is now, and I have a full functioning kind of puppet studio up and running, and so I thought, well, what the hell? I can do some fun stuff, and I'll get my daughter Lulu involved too.
Lulu, I'll bring you in. Like, what was it about this project where you said, yeah, I'm in, I want to, I want to get in on this?
Well, it's like, honestly, the thing that my parents gave to me that's most valuable is like learning how to live off of being a freelancer, and like working from home. So this is one of those jobs that my dad was like, hey, why don't you join me on this? And I was like, oh, perfect. There's a pandemic, but also like, I know how to survive this way. Great music and like the aesthetic I understood. So it was like perfect opportunity for me. People, that I could get along with, people that I understand.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And working with family. So Wayne, I'll ask you, when you approach work, whether it's with a new band or whether it's some new art that you're working on, is there a process you should go through? I mean, because your stuff is so iconic and we're so familiar with it, especially when I talk about some of those videos that I mentioned at the top. Is there a process that goes into it when you start something? You start talking to Sophie or your daughter collaborating, or is it just sort of like go?
It's just kind of like go. I did do a little research on Sophie's aesthetic and, the yellow eye motif and things that she likes visually. I wanted to naturally put that in there. So that was a bit of a research thing, but I also just wanted to put my own stuff in. I have these kind of house characters, these little houses that are made of weathered wood. They have arms and legs. I've been doing them as puppets for a while, and I thought this would be fun to put a couple of those kind of style puppets in. So I gave that assignment to Lulu, and she did my thing with the house puppets. She did a fantastic job. So it's a little bit of like...
Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome. It's a little bit of, definitely pleasing the client, of course. That's what the game is, but it's also pleasing myself too. So it's both.
You spent a lifetime in this work. I mean, to go all the way back to Pee-wee's Playhouse to, and when you talk about Peter Gabriel's, those are, I mean, think about it. That's the 80s now. We're 30 years past. Has it gotten easier for you? I mean, is it the kind of thing where you can turn it on and be like, I can get a gig like this, or are you still as an artist working in the fringes in the outside art world, like other artists to show your work?
Well, it has gotten a little easier for me. I've been in the art world, the fine art world, since 2000. And I was lucky enough to get there to sell my paintings and sculptures. And so I have a steady stream of income selling fine art objects, paintings and sculptures. But I'm always, and I do big installations at museums and stuff, which I hope after this is all over will continue. But I'm 62 now, so I've earned a little bit of, I got a rep, and I've been able to make a pretty good living now, knock wood.
When you see the work and the freelance world you were talking about with your dad, and and how he has been able to build a career. I mean, is it something to emulate? I mean, the idea of getting involved with some pieces of art that transcend commerce. I mean, the Pee-wee's Playhouse will obviously be a talk show or a kid's show that was a launch for Pee-wee Herman. But everyone who's ever known anything about it is all about its aesthetic. So for you, I mean, do you see it as can you emulate the way that your dad's career has gone?
I think Lulu's audio cut out a little bit.
Uh-oh. Yeah, Lulu's out.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. We'll come back. We'll come back to Lulu. How about that? Sophie, I'm going to get to you in just a second because we'll wrap up and then we'll talk. But we got it?
Wait, okay. I can hear you again now. I couldn't hear you for like 30 seconds. I'm sorry. I don't know why.
No, it's all good. I was just asking, do you look at your dad's career and the freelance aesthetic he's had as a blueprint for how you want to do yours, or do you see a different sort of path for you as an artist?
I don't know, maybe it's telling in my answer, but I can't see it as like a blueprint or not. I kind of just see it as like the only way to be. So I guess, yeah, it's a blueprint, but like I kind of don't really know any other way to like exist or subsist, you know? You know, like I think it's really a gift that my parents have been like, you know, like you can live from paycheck to paycheck. I really don't even know what it means to like have like a full-time job. Or to rely on like a steady stream of income. I'm kind of talking finance here, which is maybe not what you're asking about.
No.
I think it's really a gift. I think it's really a gift because it's like where some people are like, I don't really know how you're able to live like that. I'm like, oh, well, I don't know any other way. And like, I'm able to be happy this way. And it gives me time to like, it really gives me a lot of room to think about my own work and then to like be able to incorporate commission work into that and to have it be this sort of like fluid thing that, you know, like commission work influences personal work and vice versa. So it is a blueprint, I guess. Yeah.
You know, Wayne, it's interesting because in music videos in particular, and you think about some of the ones you've done, there have been spats where it's been creative time. I mean, you could be doing anything you want. Like you could say that's the Wild Wild West and people can do it. But then it also is commerce where I could turn on the video channel now and I see the same 6 videos over and over and over that are following a formula. So is it difficult to be creative in that sphere, or do the bands kind of give you creative license to do the kind of things that you've done in the past?
It totally depends on the band. The best, I always say the artist's job is to find a good boss. Unless you've got your own dough, that's everybody's job in life, is to find the right boss. And I've been lucky enough to have some good bosses. Peter Gabriel was my favorite because he just let me do whatever I wanted.
Wow.
Whatever. He's
let
just
it be
go
known.
for it.
Peter Gabriel rules.
He does.
Phil
And
Collins sucks.
Yeah, he does.
Peter was also, he's also, not to disparage anybody else, but he's also the nicest rock star celebrity I've ever met too.
What I'm blown away by on that is because his videos, especially those that video and Sledgehammer, they almost identified him. They got him out of that Genesis world into his own. And to find out that he let you be creative. I mean, you were kind of part of the reason that he moved on and changed his image.
Yeah, I mean, well, look at his work in Genesis. He was a nut, you know, and that's just the way he is. And that's why those videos were so powerful, you know, because they came straight from the artist.
It's a shame Peter Gabriel couldn't reach the heights of the Tarzan theme.
Oh yeah, that's more my wheelhouse, I guess. I'm more familiar with that than my dad.
Did you guys like collaborating together? Are you going to do more of it?
Yeah, it was fun. It was nice to finally get to know him, you know.
Shut up. She's also a stand-up comic, by the way.
No, I'm
All right.
not.
She is. She is. She's got 3 minutes of solid material.
Well, you're welcome back here anytime.
Okay, sure.
Lulu and Wayne White, it's a pleasure to have you both on the Pandemic Talk Show, and we'll check out Waltzer's video after it premieres or when it premieres at the Hideout coming up here on Thursday. I'm going to keep Sophie, and she's going to do a performance for us of the song. But I want to thank you very much for being on the show, Wayne and Lulu. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Amazing. I mean, just obviously to hear that, to hear someone who has such an impact on music video making. I mean, really, the Smashing Pumpkins, we talk about that. I mean, to be involved in your project, I mean, that's a pretty big deal, like for a local band to have it, because I mean, he hasn't made that many videos, and to be in that position where you're going to get one is pretty damn great.
Yeah, and it's really cool because it even though he's a celebrity and he's done like a lot of cool stuff, it still aligns with sort of what I was always going for anyway. I don't think we would have just picked like any artist or any celebrity. It's just so happens that like Pee Wee Herman is sort of, like I grew up with that, and we've always wanted sort of that aesthetic, I guess. I mean, I know that Wayne White hates the Muppets. We said that the last time we talked, but I remember like a couple months ago, I was like, if a dream could come true for me, it would either to be like on Sesame Street or like have Muppets in my music video. I remember I like thought about that. So I feel like this is close. I don't think Wayne White's puppets are anything like the Muppets. But
yeah, but there's more street cred here than the Muppets, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But that's a great point. I mean, for you have put a lot into your music videos, and you watch them on your page. You guys have already, the stuff that you've put out has been really interesting and very artistic. That has to, I mean, when you're talking about vision and using your music video to sell you and your brand and who the band is, I mean, that's important, right? To think about what kind of music video you want to put out, even in this day and age when there isn't necessarily a centralized location for it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's so much fun. And like, since, moving to Chicago, I've met so many amazing, like creative people where, I don't know, just the whole, making music videos is fun. I think that's why we still do them, even if people aren't watching them, if they don't necessarily have like huge productions and stuff. So,
well, the band is Waltzer. The band will be doing a music video premiere variety show, I guess it is, on Thursday on the Hideout Twitch, which you can find through the Hideout website, which is great. And you're going to do a performance for us. This is Eugene, right? This is the song that Wayne did the video for?
Yeah, this is a very chill acoustic version of that song. The song is like pretty heavy normally, but I'd rather just like chill out live.
All right, here is Sophie Sputnik, the band Waltzer, and the song Eugene. Take it away.
Slip me into Eugene's jeans, wrap me into his spleen, get me into trouble. Eugene, make me a double. Eugene, you're quite the hockey player. With those skates you melt my heart's layers, but my blades are cool, they can play with you. Get me into trouble. Eugene, make me a double. Get me into trouble. Eugene, make me a double.
Yeah, great stuff.
That's awesome.
Sophie Sputnik, Waltzer. That's great. That's such a great
It's
performance.
gorgeous.
Thanks.
So good. All right, so it's a Hideout. It's Thursday, 7 o'clock start? 7 o'clock
It's-
start?
think it's 8 for us. So that's 7 for you. Yeah.
All right, so there you go. There, where are you at right now?
Well, I'm in Chicago, but isn't someone here on these? Are we all in Chicago? This is
We're all-
Chicago.
It's
yeah,
all
this is
right.
the Midwest.
So it's 8 for everybody.
So 8 o'clock at the Hideout Twitch, which is the place to be. And you can see the new video for that song, Eugene, which, of course, the art provided by Wayne and Lulu White. Sophie, thanks so much for being on. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having.
You're great.
us.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thanks, Sophie. Awesome.
All right, that's the show. We don't need the credits.
Yeah,
Credits
let's
are
skip the
Will Waltzer.
credits.
Yeah, Will Waltzer did a great job as a producer. Good work. We'll figure out the streaming stuff tomorrow and be back with a great show. Dana and Julia with us, former mayoral candidate Monica Eng, and much, much more on the program. That's tomorrow. Pandemic Talk Show back here, 4 o'clock.
Live next time. Hopefully someone will see this episode with all these terrific people.
Yeah, sorry.